Well, I'm friends with Paula Patton. I'm cool with Laz Alonso. I'm an actress, so we got to come support and see what other people are doing and root people on. So I'm excited. I have not. But I've heard such good things about it that I cannot wait to see it. It is super important, and that's one of the things that I really love about the arts is that we can bring awareness in a cool, entertaining way. We can bring awareness to some real issues that really need to be tackled in this world, and that's definitely one of them. I mean, come on.
A really good movie. I've seen it already, so I wanted to see it again, support. It's relevant, it's on time, society-wise, and then the entertainment factor, the adding, the chops, the directing, the acting, everything. The writing was on point. Everything's on point. They did that. I enjoyed it as a fan the first time, and I'm really gonna enjoy it even more so as a fan now. But everybody who goes to see it this weekend, and I hope they do, are gonna enjoy it. And I'm not in it, so I don't really, I don't have to sell y'all on this. It's good. So that's it. Hashtag message. So yeah. Just to be careful, be aware of your surroundings, be aware of your circle, and the choices that they make can affect you, and just these young ladies out here being trafficked and these kids being trafficked. That's not a game. So yeah, just be aware and be careful, please.
Well, we met with Deon, read the screenplay. I invited it to lunch in my house, and my wife is a very good cook. And I guess we liked each other. I loved Deon, I still do. And I loved him throughout the movie. He's wonderful. He's always extremely energetic and friendly on set. Loves everybody's support and help. That makes this thing happen the way this has. Well, we had some time limits because, the money we had was, I don't know, it's a thriller, but it's based on real facts as we see. There was a combination of locations, but we invented a lot of things. And again, it's the energy of the story. And there's a lot of action which is violent because it's a story, has to do with violence. And so achieving that and also representing humanity also with the cinematography and lighting, that was so special in this movie. No, the cast has a huge input. And also I'm a kind of guy who thinks that you should not overimpose a beautiful look on a movie. But I like to receive, suggestions and emotions and being pushed to do what I do because of the faces, the actors, the human face in front of me, and the environment where we play the story.
Background on the movie, the character I play is a trafficked woman. So she's one of the, I don't know if you could maybe say one with special, like the perks. If you're trafficked, this is the one that has the perk of being like the top trafficked girl. So I guess I don't know if that's a perk or it's actually the opposite of that. But it's a gift and a curse, as you can when you watch the movie, you'll see. But yeah, that's the background is really that. I didn't even know I was going to do this film until maybe they started shooting it. And Deon, who's a friend of mine, and I've done other movies that he's directed, and I love him to death. And he just called me. He was like, "Dawn, we added this character last minute, and you got to come. You got to play this girl." And I was just like, "Oh God, I don't even know what are you saying? Just get over here and just come and play." So I went up last minute, of course, and we shot these couple of scenes, and I just remember thinking on one of the scenes, I was like, I don't even know who I am right now. I got to get it together. I got to figure this out quick because I had no lead up time, and it was just like, okay, great, make her dirty, go. That's pretty much what Deon does to me. He's like, make her look like a crackhead and go act. So that's getting good at doing that on the fly. I had honestly, that one scene, I'm mostly with Paula, and it was great. And my character is she's a little off. So a lot of Paula is just like, I don't really understand who you are. Like, what is this person? So it was a lot of that energy. And really, I like to just come in full character and then leave same way. So how's that? Deon lets you be an actor. Deon lets you be creative. And him and I, we really have this unspoken, it's like when you're talking to people and you can kind of have a secondary conversation underneath just like the conversations. Deon and I have that. And when you can have that with a director, you're in the game. The same thing they take away from any film. Have a good night at the movies. Enjoy stepping into a life that's not yours, and I don't know, if it changes you in some way, then that's epic. If it doesn't, that's epic too.
You know what? Just as a filmmaker, I never thought I would be doing a trafficking film or a movie that has a theme of that. Just because I never really knew about the issue. What happened was my daughter we received an email from the school where they said kids at the local mall were being trafficked. And that blew my mind. And I just remember being like, is this for me? And I went and did the research and found out how big trafficking was domestically and how it affects African American children as well as adults. And I was blown away. I felt really bad. I'm like, why don't I know this? I'm so enamored with everything else going on politically. I just didn't know that, and it haunted me, and I began to write the screenplay, and I wanted to figure out a way, how do you write a screenplay that could have this as the backdrop, but then at the same time be able to hook the audience so they get the message? And I think we did the perfect blend of it with this film. I'm really excited about it. I think their work ethic on this movie, being able to do a movie like this, we're not connected to a studio. This is an independent film. And everyone just came and understood what we were trying to make and what we were trying to do. Paula Patton was brilliant. Omar Epps he's unheard of. These are people that came, put in the work, understood what we were trying to do. And I think each and every one of them, their performances, I think, speak loud and clear when you see the movie. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Roselyn and Paula, where they had to go as actresses, we haven't seen a lot of leading ladies be able to do this. And I'm excited for them to be able to show their craft to the world this way. If you see something, say something. You see something, say something.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm Geoff Zanelli. I wrote the music for Traffik, and I'm excited to see with this audience. You can tell you can feel it. They want to see. Well, okay. A lot of it, I played it myself. And it's very, I want to say handmade. I had to kind of lock myself in a studio, and the story is about real things that happen to real people. So I wanted it to have some kind of intimacy, just to help draw you in. I didn't want to overwhelm the movie with like a giant score, in other words. So it's a lot of solo instruments played by myself and combined in certain ways. So. Yeah. Well, yes, but actually, we were on the same page from the first meeting. So in that sense, his say and my say were pretty much in sync the whole time. He showed me some of the movie without any score in it yet, and we talked about how the score needed to be just uncomfortable most of the time without alienating the audience. But it's not melodic and calm. It's instead very tense, and it's got to really bring that out in the story. So that, we were in sync though right from the beginning. Not with an audience, no. I've seen the finished version of the film, but not with an audience. So that's what I'm excited about, because it's going to be great.
I'm Jamaal Finkley, and this is my publicist, Layla Finkley.
Hello. What brought you guys out here tonight?
We are influencers for the movie, so this movie has taken a unique approach to publicity, and it's using influencers and direct marketing to the audience, and we're a part of that. that sex trafficking is a serious thing that goes on in America. There's a lot of stuff that scratch under the surface. There's a lot of bad things that's going on right in our faces, and it's just something to be aware of and look out for, you know. See something, say something. Yeah, very excited to see Omar and Laz and Paula Patton and Luke Gross. It's a great cast. I'm excited about the studio, Hidden Empire Film Group, new film group, African-American owned. Robert Smith, one of the richest black men in the world, is behind it. So I'm glad to see all that happening.
So my character is in many ways the comedic relief of the film, which I don't really get a lot of chances to do, which is to show my comedic skills. Did you get to see the film? Okay, so he's funny in a very kind of not funny way. But we all have that person in our lives. So it's one of those movies that's about relationships, it's relatable. Yeah, it's about trafficking, but it's also about human beings. And when we all come together and we're hanging out and we love each other and we know each other, but there's still secrets and there's still cover-ups. And when they come to light, what happens? How do we deal with them? You know, so all of those are different things that happen, all in this big suspense thriller action, you know, ride of a film. And I think Deon did a masterful job at showing all of those notes. You know, for me, it was the opportunity to do a real independent film. You know, a lot of films right now being called independents, but they're not. But this movie was financed independently, written, directed, produced, all the way, you know, up until, you know, Codeblack came in and stepped in with the distribution, you know, Jeff Flanagan, but and Lionsgate. But this is true independent filmmaking. And, you know, when you look at award season and you see the movies that are really speaking to people and touching people's, you know, heartstrings, it's independent film. You know, so I feel it's a renaissance in storytelling, and I want to be a part of it. Motivation. Deon comes from the world of professional sports, and he knows how to find what it's going to take to speak to his actors. He speaks to everyone differently. He speaks to his crew differently, his DP differently. And once he finds out what it is that motivates you, then he knows how to get the best performance out of you. And so I loved working with him because I feel like people are going to see a performance here from me that they haven't seen before. Look both ways. Don't go hiking alone. You're not as safe as you think you are.
My character is Red. He's pretty much the head of an organization, a syndicate of people that traffic human beings. He's a vile character. I've got, unfortunately, nothing redeeming to say about him whatsoever. He's just a very nasty individual. Actually, something did draw me to the character and the movie itself. And working with Deon, I've wanted to work with him a while. He's got such a great spirit, and he kind of comforts you, trying to bring something so hideous to life. But I was fearful of doing a role that I didn't want to play. I didn't want to become him. I play anti-heroes normally, so to play somebody this vile I had to face my own personal fears to bring him to life. So I did that, and I got it done. I hope, you know, we'll see what people think. Well, beautiful. Laz and Paula and Omar, they're very dedicated actors, giving. We became a family. There was no egos, there was none of that stuff. We wanted to make a movie and give Deon what he needed, and very giving, very loving cast. So I was privileged to be a part of that for a few weeks. What makes him special as a director is he's a special human being. He's a loving, kind, ego-free individual that has a vision. He knows what he wants to do. Hey, man. Hey,
brother. Good to see you, man. I see you got the memo.
I did. I got the memo. I did. We don't know where it was. Look at this thing.
Come on, man.
So, yeah, he's full of. It's that's what the film was, you know. And the wonderful thing about this movie behind the camera was a lot of love, and wanted to give Deon what he needed. And he's such a giving director and very collaborative. I'd say that's a huge thing. It's very collaborative director. You'll hear that a lot tonight, I'm sure. Well, obviously, I want them to be entertained. It's a very entertaining film. When I first saw it, I was like, wow, this is edge of your seat kind of stuff. It's visually beautiful. Dante Spinotti, our DP, is a legend. So, but there's a message. Human trafficking is a serious thing. We ought to, I think we can all kind of go through life not worrying about this or that, but this thing's out there. It's everywhere, and it's hideous and it's wrong. So, hopefully, some food for thought as well as some entertainment.
Film's called Traffik. It's a romance that turns into a really dark suspense thriller. The character I play is named John, who's an everyman, and just trying to celebrate a weekend with his girlfriend, and it gets thrust into an extraordinary circumstance. What drew me to the film was Deon Taylor, who wrote and directed the film. He wrote a beautiful script. I thought it was a powerful story, and the underlying message that it deals with human trafficking is powerful. And I wanted to be a part of shining a light on that issue. It was amazing. We got Paula Patton, Laz Alonso, Roselyn Sanchez. These are all people that I've known through the years, and we've kind of, been cordial. So we were really excited to have the opportunity to work together for the first time. Oh, Deon is just his vision, just such a great collaborator, and he's a student of film. He's a real student of film, and so his potential is massive, and I think he did his thing with this film. I want them to be entertained and informed. And I think the film sets up, it takes you on this extraordinary journey, and it's like an experience, and it's almost interactive with the audience, but people are walking away talking about, this issue of human trafficking, and that's important.
Well, I play Brea, who is a journalist, who is at a crossroads in her life. She's, her career is in jeopardy a bit because she's always approached things in an intellectual way instead of a feeling way. And then she has a new love in her life, but she's afraid to commit because she's been in love and been burned. But she takes a leap of faith, and they go on this romantic getaway, and then they make a stop at a truck stop. And so just when, you're ready to commit yourself to love and a happy life together, chaos ensues, and then the movie turns into the thrill ride, this thriller suspense. And then it brings you into the world of sex trafficking, which I keep having to say, but I just, it's, oh well. It's, they call it human trafficking or sex trafficking, but it's slavery. And people need to know that, so let's call it what it is. But then that's what brings you into that world and highlights this issue that's happening all around the world. Oh gosh, we have an amazing cast. I mean, there's Omar Epps, who is my love interest, and he's just magnificent in the film. And Roselyn Sanchez turns in just a stellar, remarkable performance. And so does Laz Alonso. I mean, no one's seen him like this. I'm so proud. It means to say, I don't mean to say proud, but I am, but I'm also happy and inspired by it. It was just so different and vulnerable and raw. And then we had there's so many people that did great film, great job. Olivieri and Luke, and they're just really lovely, So I always feel bad when I don't mention everybody, but really we're just so thankful to the cast and crew. Gosh, his heart, his enthusiasm, his love of people and life. Gosh, first and foremost, I hope they don't think about their bills or their life, just for that hour and a half or so that they, are able to escape, even if they're a little bit stressed out, doing it. But I think that people like that. And then, if it opens your minds and hearts a bit at the end or provides people to just talk about this issue, then that's a, cherry on top. Oh gosh, well, it's not really that strategic or that planned. I cut my hair and then I cut it again. I thought, gosh, it's just hair and I don't have much of it, so let's go blonde. If it fries off, it will be okay. And my boyfriend Zach. Fantastic. Yes, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thank you. Bye.
Traffik is a movie that empowers women. It shines light on sex trafficking, which is a huge thing that's so undercover and it's not talked about enough. I don't want to give too much away about my role, but let's just say I open the movie and terrible things happen to me in the movie. So that's all I'll say, and then you guys can see it and let me know what you guys think. I read the script first, and this character reminded me a lot of myself when I was younger. She was kind of like a party girl, a little bit wild, maybe like doing things maybe she shouldn't be doing, and it just turned so poorly for her. So if any young girls are able to watch this and divert from that path that could lead them anywhere near this type of situation, I will feel like I did a good job. Yeah, Paula Patton was so nice. She came right up to me and like she knew everyone's name. She was so sweet, so kind, so professional. She's just a boss. Roselyn Sanchez and I had a lot of downtime, so we chatted a lot in her trailer. She's so sweet. Goss is amazing. Of course, the director. It was just a great team to be part of. I really feel really lucky. Ooh, I was just talking about that. There's a few things. One is he's kind to everyone, no matter what. Being on set is very stressful, obviously, and you could tell he was a little stressed out sometimes, but he never took it out on anyone. He was kind and polite, and that just goes such a long way. You know, when you walk away feeling good about an interaction with someone, so he always lets me feeling really good. I would like women to feel more empowered. I want them to know that they can do any fucking thing that they want. I would love them to model themselves after Paula's character because she's just amazing. And yeah.
I play Malia. I am the friend. I'm the best friend. A very complicated character. Secondary role, but it was an amazing experience. The journey of this girl is incredible. She starts as one person, and at the end of the movie, her life changes dramatically. And I had a blast. You know, Traffik is an important movie. It's relevant. The topic is crazy. Nobody wants to talk about human trafficking. Nobody wants to deal with it because it's so disturbing that it's unbelievable, actually. You know, but it's very common. Through the movie, I learned immensely about the topic, and now I'm excited and I'm so proud to be part of the film, so we can raise awareness. You know, because people need to know and get educated about what's going on in the world. Everything. I wanted to be part of it. Listen, I'm a big fan of Deon Taylor. Working with this director was incredible. His vision was so beautiful, you know, and he wanted to be truthful and honest towards the topic, and I know visually it was going to be amazing. And it's a thriller. It's like, how do you do a movie that is so sad and make it commercial and make it entertaining, you know, and he was able to do that. And I love Paula Patton, and I'm good friends with Laz right here next to me, and I just wanted to be part of it and be part of the ride, you know. Just go home and Google human trafficking and learn, and you know what? Even something as simple as talking to your daughter and say, listen, you need to be careful because this is what's happening, and be honest about it, you know, and open that conversation with your family. And if you know a victim, just be compassionate, you know, and everybody has a story, you know, so let's ask and be compassionate. And the governments all over the world have to do something because this is like an epidemic and not a lot is being done.
Well, it's a passion project for me. You know, initially, I mean, obviously we've been in the business for many years, but, you know, this is really important for me for my own story that I haven't told. But, you know, we had a situation with our daughter, just normal online digital components, people praying online, you never know. And we had a situation and we were like, oh my God, we have to shed light on this topic, you know. We've heard stories, we knew a little bit of the situation, but we didn't realize how impactful it was with like everybody around the world, you know? So once we started and I started researching more, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is global and so much more bigger than us. So, you know, once we are on the set and trying to figure out, okay, how do we communicate this without scaring people away? How do we make sure that they get the message and understand what's happening without taking them away from the film because it's a thriller, you know? So, yeah. Oh my God, the cast was so amazing. I feel like they're all amazing. They all have amazing careers, but I feel like every single one of them, I've never seen any of them like this. before in this movie. They were raw, they were dirty, they were uncut, and they gave 150%, you know? The awareness, spread the word, and don't give up. Anything that you can do to help, you know, is a victory.